There is a version of you that you have never met, not the version your friends know, not the version your family sees, and definitely not the version you show the world on social media. I'm talking about the other one, the version that wakes up before the sun touches the sky, the version that doesn't negotiate with excuses, the version that moves with such precision, such cold discipline that if you met him today, you might feel uncomfortable standing next to him. You might even fear him, because that version of you is not soft. He is not emotional. He is not distracted. And he is not waiting for motivation. He is built on something far more dangerous: control. Most people will never meet that version of themselves, not because they can't, but because meeting him requires something brutal. It requires killing the person they are today. Marcus Vail understood this the hard way. At 26 years old, Marcus had nothing to show for his life except wasted time and broken promises. Every morning, he woke up with the same intention. Today will be different. And every night ended the same way: scrolling, excuses, regret. Marcus was not stupid. He was not lazy. He was something worse, comfortable with weakness. He had mastered the art of telling himself stories. I'll start Monday. I just need motivation. I work better under pressure. But deep inside, Marcus knew the truth. His problem wasn't motivation. His problem was discipline. And discipline is not something you feel. It is something you enforce. One night, everything changed. Marcus sat alone in his apartment. The room was dark, except for the glow of his phone lighting up his tired face. He watched video after video of men who had transformed their lives. Stronger bodies, bigger businesses, unshakable confidence. At first, he felt inspired. Then something worse happened. He felt angry, not at them, at himself, because Marcus realized something that made his chest tighten. The gap between who he was and who he could be was not caused by talent. It was caused by decisions, small ones, daily ones, the kind he kept avoiding. He stood up slowly and walked to the mirror. The reflection staring back looked unfamiliar, eyes tired, shoulders slouched. A man who had spent years negotiating with his own potential. Marcus leaned closer to the mirror and whispered something quietly. You are the reason your life looks like this. No excuses, no blame, just truth. And truth is heavy, but truth is also powerful, because once you accept it, you become dangerous. That night, Marcus did something most people are too afraid to do. He declared war, not on the world, not on other people, but on the weakest version of himself. The first battle started at 4 a.m. The alarm rang like an attack siren. Marcus opened his eyes. His body felt heavy. His mind immediately began negotiating. You slept late. You can start tomorrow. One more hour won't matter. But Marcus remembered the mirror. He remembered the promise. He remembered the war. So he did something simple. He sat up. Not because he felt motivated, not because he felt inspired, but because he had given an order. And orders are meant to be followed. The first weeks were brutal. Discipline felt like violence. Every time Marcus wanted comfort, he chose discomfort. Every time he wanted distraction, he chose focus. Every time he wanted to quit, he chose action. And something interesting began to happen. His emotions stopped controlling him. Most people believe discipline means you stop feeling pain. That is a lie. Marcus felt everything. He felt exhaustion. He felt boredom. He felt loneliness. But he stopped asking those feelings for permission. Instead, he treated them like weather, rain, storm, wind, none of it mattered. The mission continued. Months passed. Marcus became quiet. He stopped announcing his goals. He stopped explaining his plans. He stopped posting about new beginnings. He simply worked. While others chased validation, Marcus chased mastery. This silence confused people. Friends asked where he disappeared to. Some accused him of changing. Some laughed at his new routines. Others tried to drag him back into the comfortable life they shared before. But Marcus had discovered something powerful. The moment you become serious about discipline, you become a mirror. And mirrors make people uncomfortable because when they look at you, they see the discipline they lack. Marcus embraced isolation, not because he hated people, but because he understood something most never learn. Growth requires silence. Silence reveals truth. When the noise of the world disappears, something strange happens. You hear your own mind, and your mind is not always friendly. In those quiet hours, Marcus met his demons: doubt, fear, regret. They whispered constantly, "You're wasting your time. You will fail anyway. You're not built for greatness." But Marcus had learned a new skill. He didn't argue with the voices. He simply kept working. And over time, the voices grew quieter, because the mind eventually respects the man who refuses to quit. 1 year later, Marcus was no longer the same man. The transformation wasn't just physical. Yes, his body had changed, his posture had changed, his energy had changed, but the real transformation happened inside his mind. Marcus had stopped negotiating with himself. When he decided something needed to be done, it got done. No debate, no excuses, no delay. This kind of discipline is rare, and rare things make people nervous. People around Marcus started noticing something they couldn't explain. He was calm under pressure. He didn't react emotionally. He didn't chase attention. He didn't waste words. It felt like he was operating on a different frequency, and that unsettled them, because unpredictable men cannot be controlled. Marcus understood a powerful truth about discipline. Consistency is terrifying. Not loud aggression, not empty confidence, but quiet, relentless consistency. Imagine a man who shows up every day, not just when he feels motivated, not just when life is easy, but every single day, year after year. That man becomes unstoppable, not because he is the smartest, not because he is the strongest, but because he is inevitable. Marcus became that man. But the final battle was the hardest one. It required something painful. Marcus had to let the old version of himself die, the version that needed approval, the version that feared criticism, the version that apologized for having ambition. That version had to disappear. And death is never comfortable. Marcus lost friends. He lost relationships. Some people called him cold, others called him obsessed. But Marcus understood something they didn't. Every transformation has a tax, and greatness is expensive. Years later, Marcus stood once again in front of a mirror, the same type of mirror where his journey began. But the man looking back was not the same. His eyes were steady, his posture was strong, and there was something else. Something difficult to describe. Control. Total control over his own mind. Marcus smiled slightly, not out of pride, but out of understanding, because he finally knew the truth. The most powerful man in the world is not the richest, not the strongest, not the most famous. The most powerful man is the one who has conquered himself. And somewhere deep inside you, that man already exists, waiting, watching, patient, but he will never appear unless you do something difficult. You must bury the weak version of yourself, the distracted one, the emotional one, the one addicted to comfort, because the future does not belong to the soft. It belongs to the disciplined, the focused, the relentless, the ones who choose the cold path. So the question is simple. Do you want the comfort of the crowd or the power of the climb? Because you cannot have both. And the moment you decide, everything changes. The old you dies, and the real you begins.